Hello, welcome to the Richardson Simple Living. My name's Maria. If you're new here, I vlog about home life things, homeschooling, urban homesteading, cooking, all that kind of thing. But at the moment, we're doing a Vlogtober challenge. My eldest daughter said to me, "Oh, you ought to do it." She says, "I'll help you do it." So I said, "Well, I'll give it a go." I did do Vlogmas last year and that nearly killed me. Every day vlogging and trying to remember to do one every day, even if it's for 5 minutes, it was, quite something. So I said, well, we'll give it a go. If I can do 31, great. If I can't do the 31 days, well, not to worry. But because we're doing them every day, normally I do a vlog twice a week. And so I'm still doing the normal vlogs twice a week. I'm just throwing other little bits in with it. So it'll be Halloween things and autumnal things. So the last few days you've seen decorations and Lisa's put the indoor decorations up and everything. But today's going to be one of my normal vlogging days, and it's going to be a homeschool vlog today, because I did say that when Sean started doing the GCSE workbooks, textbooks, I'd give her a couple of weeks and we'd come back and let you know how it was doing. So it's doing great actually, because as you know, we've gone to 3 days a week structured schooling, and then we're doing 2 days a week non-structured. So the Monday we're saying is Meandering Monday, which is where we go out and about and look at things, historical things, educational, interesting things. Sean's taking pictures because she likes doing photos and that kind of thing. But we've only managed to do that one Monday, because the Monday after that, Sean was poorly, full of cold. And now this Monday just gone, Dean's got the cold. And as he's the only driver, we haven't been able to do it. So hopefully next Monday, if I don't get the cold, then we'll be able to go back out and meander around and do something hands-on. And Friday's a free day Friday, where she does self-led work. And at the moment what she's doing with that, she's been studying space dogs that have, like astronauts, cosmonauts have sent them to space dogs, and they've gone up, I don't know, like experiments, things like that, I don't know, but they've sent them into space. And she's been looking into all the different dogs from all the different countries that have been sent into space. She's been researching them, writing about them, getting pictures of them. And what she's done now is writing a story about space dogs, plus all the dogs that she knows. And she's inventing her own story. So it's sort of a bit like a space story crossed with a night at the museum. It's sort of a mix of all different things she's interested in, but creating her own story. So that's what she's been doing on her free day Friday. But anyway, back to the GCSE books. Now, I'd showed you the GCSE books. You've seen them a few weeks back, and they pretty much run the same as what the Key Stage 3 books run. I've shown you them before now, so if you've not seen them, just go back through the homeschooling section and you'll see them. So they pretty much run the same. The history definitely runs the same. The only difference is that's got some practice GCSE work at the back of that book, whereas obviously the Key Stage 3 one doesn't. The spelling, punctuation and grammar, that runs the same like the Key Stage 3 ones does. So the only things I wanted to show you that are a bit different was GCSE German ones. Now, Sean did the Key Stage 3 ones and that went through all right. Everything corresponded, which it still does with this. But I did want to show you something. I'll just pick any random page. So it does correspond with the guide. You go page by page and work through it. The only thing is it does expect you to know a lot more German and quite fluent German. Sean can make things out and she gets by with it. But I do say for her to translate, use a translator. Do it first yourself, see what you can make of it. Then go over it with a translator to make sure you're accurate or you've not missed bits out. And then she can answer the questions, because they might be asking her questions in German, which they often do. The only thing I did want to say about this book is it's in different sections. So you see these little bits there. You've got writing and reading. Now listening, that's the one, that's the one that foxed us a bit, because we didn't have listening in Key Stage 3. It gives you codes at the front where you go onto the site so you can listen to audios. That's what you got to do. Go onto their CGP site and listen to the audio. Could we find it? Oh, we couldn't. Every time we put in the codes that are at the front, it was saying it wasn't recognising it. It didn't exist, didn't recognise it. So what I had to do in the end was just basically punch in what we were looking for. The GCSE, Aqua German, listening. That's what I put in, just listening. And it seemed to know then what I wanted, and it took me straight to the page, no problem whatsoever. So I don't know what all the codes were for. They just took me to a main page and saying, or it said nothing at all, couldn't find nothing at all. But I had to punch in, like when you're Googling for something and you don't actually know what it is you're Googling for. So you give what information you know. And that's what I did about the book and what I was looking for, the listening. And it got it straight away. And it's nicely formatted then, because it tells you in different sections what part to do and what you're listening for. So that's the only thing I did want to tell you about that. If you do get this book, you will need the audio, and don't be put off if you can't find it through the codes it gives you at the front. Just Google what you know about the book, name of the book and what you're looking for, and it will fetch it up. So yeah, and then it's got writing sections again. So every page goes through like that, and it does correspond nicely with the revision guide. I'm not sure if this one's got some questions in between actually, because on the Key Stage 3, the revision guide, every time it did a certain module, when it come to the end of it, it would have question pages on here. So I'm not sure, I've not come across one yet, but she's only just started. And she did miss a Tuesday last week because she wasn't very well with this cold. So we've not got very far in this, but far enough to notice that we needed to find the listening bit. So yeah, I can't see anything that says, just all seems to correspond directly to that. So yeah, that's something to be aware of and watch out for. But other than that, brilliant books, and Sean's getting on with them well. But you do need to know German quite well, because it just gives you a lot of writing in German. It doesn't tell you what it means in the guide, it expects you to know. So you've got to have enough knowledge to know roughly what it's talking about. And then we do Google it, Google a translation. But not before Sean has had a go at it. The other one I did want to tell you about was the Christmas Carol one. Now, we got a bit confused with it at first because we knew that it was supposed to correspond. And so, let me have a look. So yeah, it went straight to Marley's Ghost on the workbook. But in the textbook, it did introductions, which is great because obviously you could just read them. But we have trouble finding where we're supposed to be. Who's who in the Christmas Carol? So it goes through a lot of stuff first before you actually get plots and summaries. And we were going through all this and was thinking, well, where do we actually get to what the the workbook, I should say, is doing? Because you've got backgrounds about the poor law and, you know, things from Victorian times, charity, education, religion and Christmas. And then it went straight into practice questions. And that threw us because I thought, well, we haven't got to the first part of the workbook and we couldn't understand it. So like on the first week, she read all the first bit. We ignored the question book and we did these questions in here. We worked through all of them to start with. And then after that, it started on Marley's Ghost. So the questions in here, although you get some idea of it in the guide, isn't exactly the same. You've got to know a little bit more. And I found that we've got the Christmas Carol book. I bought this separately a year ago, just for Christmas reading. Let's bring it down a little bit. And it corresponds with these two books perfectly corresponds. And I thought, oh, that's great. So she went through all the list of characters and everything, blah, blah, blah. And it did correspond. It went through Marley's Ghost, the same as that. So what we're doing on the read aloud, nearly lost her paid for her then. She's been reading the section that she's going to do for read aloud on that day. So this week she's going to be the second of the 3 spirits, which gives her all the information she needs, because her next one on here is the second of the 3 spirits, and it corresponds with the book. And this is running alongside of it, the guide, but it doesn't give you everything you need to know. It gives you a rough outline and things. So you need to read that, but it's good to have the book. So I realised then, after you've done each section, then it'll go on to the last of the spirits and the end of it, which this book has got exactly the same things in it. It then goes on to another set of practice questions. So that's what's how we've worked it out now. We've realised that there's practice questions. So she does the book work. When it gets to the end of the module, the next lesson then she'll have is the practice questions, because there's quite a good lot of them and reading in itself there. And then it goes off onto the characters. So yeah, if you get one of these books for your English literature, then you know it's a good idea to get the reading book with it, because you will need it. Now, the CGP, they do a lot of these books. I think they've got Frankenstein and Inspector Calls. Just off the top of my head, there's a couple I know, but they do a fair few. So if you are going to get more of them, I suggest you get a corresponding book to read with them, so you know fully what it's all about and what the questions are asking of you, and you get the full understanding of it all then. So yeah, you will need all 3. So I just thought I'd let you know. But as for Sean getting on with them, she's getting on with them really well. She's enjoying them, especially now we've worked out the Christmas Carol format of how it all works. But yeah, she's getting on really well with them. I think they were the only GCSE ones. She got those 2. The spelling, punctuation and grammar, which, like I say, runs exactly the same as what the Key Stage 3 one does. And also the history one, which runs the same as the Key Stage 3 one. Like I said, the only difference is that's got some practice GCSE questions at the back. And it covers like the different types of exams, like aqua and all the different kinds, because there's a few different types. So it covers all of them, which is quite good. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you know. I haven't done an home education video for a while. So I thought I'd let you know how the GCSE books are doing, as I said, award. And Sean's enjoying them. She's working on them. And she's liking doing them. But she likes the fact that we're doing 3 structured days and 2 non-structured days as well. That's working out brilliantly. It's really good. And I find she's so productive as well. It works out really well. So as far as homeschooling goes, everything's going fine and dandy. It's all going well and she's enjoying doing what she's doing. So that's that for today. I was going to say now join me on Friday for cooking, but of course I'm doing this Vlogtober. So join me tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow. We'll have a look what's happening and see. Lisa's got some ideas planned, but she's at work in the week, so we don't get to do much with Lisa in the week, probably at the weekend. So we'll see. I'll have a look what there is we can do. Like I say, it doesn't have to be Halloween themed. It could be autumnals. It could be just a nice autumnal walk. Depends what we're doing and how everyone is. So thank you for watching. And like I say, tomorrow we'll do another quick Vlogtober one. And then the day after that, what day is tomorrow? Thursday. The day after that, then we'll be back to air frying. We're going to do another air fryer recipe. That's not going to be Halloween themed. Might do later on in the month, but it isn't this time. So I've got an idea what I want to do. So all being well, if that's what I do, then yeah, it won't be Halloween themed. So thank you for watching. Like I say, if you just like 10 minutes of anything, join me tomorrow. If you just like watching the air frying, join me on Friday. And whichever day you join me, take care and I'll see you then. Bye.